Are you serious?
Serious about what, bro?
The red light?
Bro,
What's up, kid?
tell me about your dream.
Fuck, man. Do you want me to tell you about it, or do you want the documents?
No, I want you to tell me about it.
Okay. This is the abridged version. I'm not gonna go every single detail. So I'm picking up my nephew from daycare in my first car ever, which was an '88 Toyota Corolla. It's a stick. I reversed in, suddenly in the passenger seat with my uncle driving, boy in my lap. Driving, get to a QT, says we need some gas. Before that I say, how's it been? He's like, okay, but it sounded very sad. Get to this gas station, out of the car, uncle gone, boy gone, woman looking pretty crazy with big plastic gloves and female presence on my left. We need something, we push her back inside. She rubbed the trash can a little bit with her left hand covered in the glove. Then, and this is weird because the whole thing, it all comes together at the end in a really intense moment. So I'm gonna have to tell you the whole thing. There's this scene, and Tim Fader's there, but he's a little crazy. And there are buildings on the left and the right, and there's huge open space, and there's lots of soil, and it's sort of like a garden sort of thing. And there's a person running around with this huge flower in this huge bush, and it's like a hibiscus flower or it's a datura flower. One of them has psychoactive properties. I couldn't tell which one it was. Then Tim is running with the flower. It was like a scene flash, and I have been knocked back into like a little shack. And I slid on the ground on this dirt, and I'm standing up and I look down at my left hand, and it's surrounded by little buds of flowers. And I push myself up and I start chasing this flower. This white flower, mind you, very large. Then, suddenly, I'm in my old house in East St. Louis, in my parents' room, which leads to our room, which I open the door to, and my sister is sitting at this desk. And she very casually turns around and she says, "Oh, you're looking for your nephew." And when I went into the room or stuck my head in, there was a little bundle covered in a black cloth. But as soon as she said that, there was this little boy standing on the bed in like a stripy little boy shirt, sort of a toddler. And then the female presence is next to me from before. And the little boy goes like this. And then I lean over to the female presence and I say, he saw me doing that because I'm hard of hearing. And then I didn't, we decided to leave. But as we're leaving, I look back again and he does like this sort of motion, like he's typing something. And then I felt really strange because toddlers aren't supposed to do that. And I don't think he's ever doing that. The strangest part, because this is maybe the last time I saw the boy, my nephew is not alive. He was actually stillborn many years ago. I do not have a nephew. I have a niece. And the other weird thing, there's a lot of death in this dream. My uncle, the last time I ever had a dream about my uncle, he died and was lying on the counter in the very house that we were just in. That's something else. We'll get to that later. We leave. Scene changes. Circular white room. This woman, possibly the woman from the gas station, sitting in this all-white garb, cross-legged, with my nephew in her lap, slumped over like this. There's an aquarium behind her. I don't know if there are water, but she's sitting there, sort of like with her eyes closed, meditating-ish. And then all of a sudden I'm aware that there are really hundreds of monkeys in this circular aquarium going around this whole white room. And then they're getting rustly and they're playing around and things like that. Then it gets really, really rough. And finally, one monkey grabs another one's tail that's trying to perhaps swim away. And she goes, "It's time to go." But she said it like I wasn't there, almost to nobody. Female presence is no longer there. And I sort of start doing like this floaty backward thing, but it's not like a walking. And I look, And up and to the left on this part of the circular room is a female who is not the woman or the female presence beating the hell out of this monkey, really only in the head, and then it dies. And then she just disappears, and there's this dead monkey there. And I'm floating out of this circular room, and I look at this all-white door with a silver handle, and I'm like, close. But I didn't reach for it with my hand, because I didn't think I had a body at this time. The door starts closing, and I'm floating outward, realize there's a second door, which I do not think to close, and remains open. Turn around, actually walking. I have a body now. I'm holding a stack of pink backgammon type chips. The top one is flaking and crusting and falling away. Before this, I run into you, who is running through like a museum or something, and I do like this with a hand motion and knock over your drink. You say something to me about cleaning it up. It sort of gets ignored, but we go for it anyway. Turn around, top of a hill, see Liz, says something to me about putting her finger in my butt. I say something close to agreement, then back in the museum, walking with the stack of the chips, flaking at the top. And I remember a female telling me before this, go and tell them that someone is trying to kill us. So I go downstairs, and there's this huge half-circle desk. Don't know if there's a person behind it. I throw the chips, and I fling this white tablecloth off of it, breaking many things. And I turn around, and there's a bunch of old dudes sitting in front of the desk, but I can only see one of them. And I look at him, and I say, no, excuse me. And I feel like I'm holding something in my left hand. It feels like a hilt. And he says, someone is trying to kill us. And I tell him, that's what we just figured out. Then he smiled, and then I woke up. That's the whole dream. Give or take. There's more detail in the paper and in the 30+ text messages. Now I'm very thirsty. Are you satisfied?